hot as shit in here. All right, I'm ready. What's up, War Room World? Welcome to another edition of Inside the War Room, NBA 2013 Finals Edition. We're here today to talk about Game 3, and I'm Devin McMillan. I'm here with my homies Jimmy Williams, War Room
Hit
Sports.
you with the drop kick, Marty Jannetty.
B. Austin, War Room Sports.
Yo, we representing today. This is not sponsored by War Room Sports. This is solely representing my opinion.
Manu.
And we got a special guest with us today. We got Glass from Get With It Sports. What's up, brother?
What's up, bro? Yes, sir. Just here representing. I appreciate the opportunity, man.
Straight out of Shot Town. All right, man. So let's get right into it, man. The first two games, we know how that went. The first game was close. Second game, Miami got the Spurs in a blowout. Third game, blowout is not even a word. 36-point loss by the Heat in the NBA Finals. Fellas, how do you explain what happened? Jimmy, what happened in this game to make it go down?
Listen, man, I have a theory, yo. Shout out to the War Room Sports fantasy expert, Naran Mercer. If you watch this video, Naran, shout out to you, because the Spurs cheated last night. Just like Naran cheats on 2K when he moves the sliders all the way up, I think the Spurs moved the sliders all the way up. Because them jokers was hitting threes left and right. Danny Green and my man Gary Neal. Yo, Neal looked like Chef.
Hustle man.
Yo, he looked
like Tracy Morgan.
Yo, his jump shot was amazing. Yo, he looked like Shep.
Straight out of Towson, yo. Shout out to the
because we know what
Baltimore
happened.
area.
We know what happened when he was up LaSalle. He kind of took. Never mind. But anyway,
the Colorado.
Game, I wanted a long series, but I don't want to see a string of blowouts though. I'd rather a competitive game like. Game 2 was out of control on the other side. Now, Game 3 was even worse, like you said. The fact of the matter is I don't like either one of these teams, so I just want to see a competitive series. And we're not getting that. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But that was just ugly. That was ugly. There's so many things you could point the finger at in terms of, like, their rotation, the defense, the hustle. Nothing was there, and their shots weren't falling, and all the Spurs shots were falling. So it just made for an embarrassing game.
And it kind of went the same way as Game 2 because up until the third quarter, the game was kind of close. Frankly, I think Mike Miller and his shooting was actually keeping them in the game up until
they should have been down by 30.
B. Austin, what was your biggest observation before we go to Glass?
My biggest observation was my man Hustle Trent, a.k.a. And Danny Green. They're not going to have a game like that probably ever again in their careers, let alone in the finals.
They moved the sliders up.
They moved the sliders up. They was cheating. They was like in double dribble mode.
You're going to the corner, hitting the double dribble
corners, man, going to the corners. And Hustle, man, that some of the shots he takes, you could tell that he knows in his heart of hearts that he can shoot because he'll pull up.
He was a scorer in college, so
he was.
And we all know the Spurs, you know, and their record for getting players that nobody else had on their radar. You know, I think they got the best scouting department in professional sports.
On Miami's side of the ledger, before we get to LeBron, because we've got to talk about the entire team. This is not squarely on LeBron's shoulders by any means. Defensively, I don't know what the FUCK Miami was doing in terms of rotation. It was like, yo, the ball would start on the strong side, rotate to the weak side. They wouldn't get out there. They'd get out there a little bit late, and then it would come back over to the strong side and be a wide open jet. And that just happened it happened the whole game, but from the third quarter on, it was almost like they said, we're not playing D.
No sense of urgency.
And
then, now, here's my thing with LeBron. Right.
Wait. Let's before you get into that, because I'm actually let Glass get into that first, and then we can get the conversation from there. Glass, being from Chicago, man, we know. First of all, let me preface this by saying, I think everybody here knows that you can't blame a 36-point beatdown on one
person. Right.
However, at the same time, while a lot of people want to give LeBron excuses, you know, he didn't do his part as the quote-unquote best player on the planet either. So, Glass, being from Chicago, we've heard all the comparisons lately between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. What did you see in this game, and how would you compare that to, you know, a Michael Jordan playoff performance?
Okay. All right. let's just end this right now. I don't hear no more comparison with LeBron and MJ. LeBron is too passive. He does not have that killer instinct. I thought he had it from last year when they won the championship, but evidently he forgot how to do it. MJ wouldn't have let this happen. You know what I'm saying? He would have been in everybody's ass. He was like, you know what? I'll take over. Y'all just follow my lead. LeBron James, if you notice in the fourth quarter when the air raid was going on, the sirens was going off. Every time
the bombs was falling.
Man, every time if you look at the tape, every time a three went in, LeBron looked at the sideline like, what you want me to do? Or call the timeout. I need help. Something. He didn't take over, so
right.
It would have been totally different if it was MJ.
Yeah, and you know how we do in the media. You know, everybody likes to point out that LeBron is more of a facilitator, more of a Magic Johnson than a Michael Jordan. But even Magic himself kind of took LeBron to task after the game, you know, saying you're the best player in the world. Like, even if facilitating is your thing and getting everybody involved, there's a point, you know, especially in the postseason where you have to just put the team on your back if things aren't going well. Now, I'm not sure if LeBron, you know, had he put the team on his back last night, if they would have won that game since they got beat by so much. But
Danny Green was drawn. His shots weren't even touching the net. They were just going like fruit.
I think the effort would have showed all of the critics, because he's been getting killed all day. At least the effort would have showed everybody that, okay, this dude, you know, he is about doing whatever it takes to at least give the team, you know, positive morale going into the next game. Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a game 6 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals between the Bucks and the Sixers back in 2001, when the Bucks were annihilating the Sixers. But Allen Iverson kept shooting and even brought the game down. It was like a 30-something point game that he brought down to single digits before it was over. There was no way they were going to win the game. Everybody knew that. But everybody spoke about it afterwards and said how what Allen Iverson did gave the Sixers confidence for Game 7. Like you said, it set the tone for Game 7. And I kind of think that's where, like, the people who are being critical of LeBron, that's at least what they wanted to see from him last night.
You and I watched that game together, and they were down by like 146, and he brought that lead down to 7. They ended up losing by 7, and I think they were down by like 36. Here's the point that I want to make when we draw the comparisons. LeBron gets all the credit in the world, as he should. He is the best player in the world right now. But with that comes the criticism. With that comes the examination of that young man's game. And
with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah. So
all those good sayings.
all those good cliches that we love. And so with that, when you examine Michael Jordan, when you examine Kobe Bryant, when you examine Allen Iverson, and I know I'm probably going to get killed in the comments for bringing 2 of those.
He just put AI with Mike and Kobe and.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
All right, no comment.
Him over Magic. Those guys, when you're talking about aggression, competition, and aggression, Charles Barkley was better than Magic. He ain't got no jewelry either. But when you're talking about competition and aggression go hand in hand. You have to show the aggression, and that aggression is the desire to win in a lot of cases. It's not even so much whether you end up with the W in the column. It's the effort that you're giving in a desperate situation to win. We're not seeing the aggression. We're not seeing the desperation. So there's where the questions begin to form, and you start because at the end of the day, Mike doesn't care if you think he shot too much. He's going to go out with the aggression and the desperate effort to get as many points on the board as possible. And we didn't see that.
But I just want to – I'm kind of tired of hearing people say, well, LeBron's not really a scorer, because that's bullshit.
He's the best scorer in the league.
Averages, 26, 27, 28 points a game every year. So don't tell me he's not a scorer. LeBron is capable of doing anything he wants to do out on the court. It's a matter of mindset and whether he wants to do it. Now, I don't want to turn this into a LeBron bashing session, because he's liable to come out next game and score 45 points and kill the Spurs. So, I want to sit around and wait to see what happens. But in this game, it was kind of weird for me to see this particular situation here. Like, this is, by all accounts, the best player, in the NBA. But when, guys, has the last time you seen the best player in the NBA have defenders step back and dare him to shoot jump shots? Like, I don't remember seeing that
in the finals.
Yeah, like, I don't remember seeing that.
And as much as I cream Magic, I will give him one thing. In those situations, in those situations, even as much of a passer as he was known for, Magic was clutch. Magic would have been gunning to get that win.
All right, but
let me just put something in. Not to even put, like you said, I'm not bashing LeBron or nothing like that. I kind of want to bash a little bit on the coach, on Spoelstra. I don't know how y'all feel about Spoelstra. I bashed him last year. I don't think he's a premier coach. I give him an average coach. He just happens to have good players on his team. Now, let me ask you a question. They broke a record of hitting 16 threes last night. And out of the 16 threes, you had 2 players hitting 13 of them. Don't you think you should zone in on the 2 players and do a Mark Jackson, what he did when they played Houston, and put a body on them, make sure, put a little body on them when they go up and make sure, take them off guard. You get what I'm saying? It's like they just sat there and just watched it.
You have to make some kind of adjustment to run those guys off the three-point line, because not only did they set a record as a team, but Danny Green has already set a record for three-pointers made by a single player in the NBA Finals with, I think, 16. The record was 15. At some point, you have to, it's been 3 games. You have to make that adjustment to not let role players beat you down like this in this series. So I agree with that. I actually thought Spo was actually improving as a coach, and I gave him his props in certain situations. But I definitely agree, Glass, with the assessment you just made, because at some point you can't let, like you guys said, the air raid continue. It's crazy.
Danny Green is not trying to be considered a role player after this series because he's been balling. Yeah. He's trying to come out this series as like one of their main cogs.
Right. Yeah, but he still seems like somebody who really couldn't get it done, off on his own. But at the same time,
his own shot.
How hard would the adjustment be? Because it's not like they have a LeBron James on their team that's, sucking the whole defense in. Like, Tony Parker is Tony Parker, but a lot of that happened when Tony Parker wasn't even on the floor.
I'm gonna tell you something that this game also sets up in a positive column for the Spurs. If you follow the fact that Danny Green is on fire from three-point land, they have to account for him now. So now you got to account for those role players when you can have the big 3 of the Spurs on the floor.
2.5.
Now Tim Duncan probably has a bigger game.
Now Tim Duncan, you can't double. You cannot leave Danny Green alone, and you can't leave Gary Trent.
Gary Neal.
Gary Neal. I keep calling him Gary Trent. My bad. You can't leave Gary Neal alone. You can't leave
Gary Trent alone a long time ago.
Yeah, Gary Trent did got left alone, y'all.
Even when he was in the league, they left him alone. But you can't leave Gary Neal alone. So that opens it up for the Spurs to have driving lanes and post-up opportunities.
Now, on the other side of things, like we talked about the Spurs wasting Danny Green's performance in Game 2, I feel the same way about the Miami Heat, because you have Mike Miller shooting at an amazing clip, and, he's doing it all for naught because they get blown out in the game.
Mike Miller's the reason they won the chip last year.
See, according to DJ Willie G. But, if you think about it, this is what we always hear, role players really don't show up on the road. You got Mike Miller showing up on the road, so it's like you really can't waste those performances. What do you guys see? I'll start with you, Glass. What do you see going forward? What do you think Game 4 will look like in San Antonio?
Well, the big 3 definitely going to have to show up, because if I'm mistaken, Bosh and Wade accounted for, 6 points?
Right, and none of the 3 has scored 20 points in this series.
Exactly.
That's crazy, though.
And the last time LeBron strung together 3 games without scoring 20 points or more was the 2011 Finals against Dallas. That's kind of an alarming statistic right there. They say he's not a scorer; he's a facility. LeBron needs to score. He needs to put this team. He needs to do something.
LeBron is anything he wants. And shout out to Kawhi Leonard for the D that he is playing. But if LeBron decided to put 45 on you, you would get 45 put on you.
So we'll go back to Glass. So what's your prediction on Game 4?
From what I seen last night, it just it just has to be deep. They have to play. I mean, I was looking at the game I don't know what quarter it was when Tim Duncan was at the corner of the paint and they passed out to him. Wasn't nobody sticking him, and then you had Haslam looking at Chalmers like, "Where was you at?" You know what I'm saying? They got to sit there and rotate and act like they want to win something.
Rio is everybody's whipping boy.
Nobody got.
Yo, but
I
see what you're saying. They definitely didn't look like the defending champs.
Right.
In that last game, even like I said, with the rotations and the way they were all screaming on each other. Like,
right.
You don't see that in the NBA final. That's something that's like training camp stuff they was doing. I just didn't get it. Like, I don't know what happened in between.
Look at game
2 and 3.
When Miami's dropping bombs on the Spurs, you didn't see San Antonio looking all frustrated. You know, Coach Pop might have lost his mind on the sidelines, but they was like, okay, we're gonna get y'all next game.
They're a very resilient team. But Dev, you made a great point in our last video, where you talking about how Miami is the best team in the league at front running.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning that if they get out ahead of you, like, you know, it's over with. But once you get out, that's why we talked about the Spurs having to like get a lead and just like build on it, because
they get in front of you, Jim. You know, they on the sideline doing the running man and dancing and smiling,
posing for pictures, doing the cabbage patch,
and the role players just step up all of a sudden and they kill you.
Yeah, but Glass, who you got winning the game? Glass, give us your prediction in terms of who you think will win.
Game 4. I'm still stick with the Spurs. I got the Spurs winning this whole thing at 6. I'm still gonna stick with the Spurs because I can't see.
Okay.
If it's gonna be close, I still going with the Spurs winning game 4.
See, now my thing is, like, I don't want to jump out there. I don't want to get into like prisoner of the moment mode, because I have to remember that just a few days ago, Miami blew the Spurs out just like this. Even though, you know, they have 2 more to go in San Antonio, which is a tall task for the Miami Heat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to count them out yet, because a lot of times when you think this team might be dead, you know, they do something to show you that they're not. Now, I don't want to keep hearing the Michael Jordan comparisons. You know what I'm saying? LeBron's not Michael. LeBron's not Kobe as far as, you know, this quote-unquote killer instinct that everybody
you don't got to qualify that, brother.
However, LeBron James is LeBron James. And I think certain times when he feels that he has something to prove, he goes out and prove it. The difference between him and the other guys that we just named, they kind of have that feeling all the time. So even if they're not having a great shooting night, they're going to go out there and they're going to put it up. I think LeBron, because of all the criticism between games 3 and 4, I think he might come out and have a big game, maybe a 40-point game, like just 81. To prove. The thing is, with LeBron is, you know, even if he does that and they win game 4, then what is he going to do with game 5? Is he going to rest on his laurels and go back to what he's been doing already, or is he going to realize this is what I need to do to close this team out?
So what you're essentially saying?
I'm going to go with the Heat. The Heat are 12-0 after losing games in playoff series, you know, with this team. So until they show me otherwise, I'm going to say that the series stays on a seesaw. I'm going to go with the Miami Heat in game 4. If they don't win, it's trouble. It's trouble. It might be a wrap. Like, I don't like to count teams out. Once they get to this point, they're all good teams. So even if they fall behind in the series, you don't want to count them out. But if they go down 3-1, it's trouble. So I got the Heat winning game 4 in San Antonio. B. Austin, we go to you, and then Jimmy.
So what you're saying is it has to be contrived aggression. Okay, I got you.
You gotta poke at that giant. You gotta poke at it. See, Michael Jordan made his own slights. You could say hi to Mike, and he's like,
why you say hi to me like
that? Like, exactly.
And then he's gonna drop 50 on you. Like LeBron, you gotta poke.
And then go in your locker room and tell you that he did it. I'm with you. I still have the Heat in 7. I have the Heat winning game 4. I do. Yeah, I think that they're going to come out. I'm obviously hoping that the Spurs win, but I think that the Heat are that talented athletically, and LeBron, and I still even believe in Wade. He'll summon his inner Chicago. He'll get out of the tight clothes. He'll come out of the closet.
He'll show up.
He'll show up as the South Sider that he is, as opposed to This new
the South Beacher.
Yeah, the South Beacher. You know, I think that he'll show up. I think
South Atlanta.
Yo, shout out to the ATL.
South Frisco.
Some of our fan
Wow.
Bosch has the ball, and I don't know whether that's coming from just within or that's Spo designing something to get him off. Because he needs to touch the ball more. He needs to get more post-up opportunities. He needs to lay the rock.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what they need. I mean, he was once a 23 and 12 guy, and I don't think that 23 and 12 has left because of diminishing skills or athleticism. He doesn't get the opportunity.
Has left because he signed with the wrong team.
Exactly.
He wanted to team up. He got his championship.
It left because he wants to be Del Curry. That's why I left. Listen, here's what I think about. Here's what I think about Game 4. And by the way, Bosch was out there jacking up threes even in his loss. He still was taking his threes.
Del Curry.
He was practicing for next game.
Young
Del Curry. Yo, and I just saw something that Chris Bosh put his home up for sale in Miami, so I don't know what that means. But that's either here nor there.
I'm tired of this bullshit.
But anyway, my prediction for
Udonis Haslam getting more shots than me.
Yo, the Heat are too talented of a team. I think they have to get it together. I predict for them to win Game 4. Now, I've been incorrect damn near this whole series. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just want this to be a long series. I just can't see another blowout on either side, whether the Heat blow them out or vice versa.
That's bad.
I want to see a competitive game. I want to see great basketball, but they have the best player in the world, as we mentioned several times during this video. So
he just needs to know that.
And most times, right, if you look at the finals historically, the team with the best player usually wins the finals more times than not.
Right.
If you look at the exceptions to that, to me saying that is when LeBron is in the final. I'm joking, but he has to play better. I mean, he can't play any worse. But, you know what I mean? So I'm taking the Heat to win Game 4, and then to be knotted up again. I saw something interesting. Just reading over different things for the finals. The Spurs in every finals they've been in have never been behind in terms of games. They've never been behind in finals history, like as the San Antonio Spurs. So that's crazy. But I think the Heat will come back and tie it up at 2 games apiece. That's my prediction. I'm sticking to it.
All right. So before we wrap this up, Glass, make sure you tell everybody out there, how they can find you on the internet. What you got going on?
All right. Well, you can check us out on Get With It Sports 2, the number 2 on YouTube channel. Check out our videos. You can check out our blogs on Get With It Sports at WordPress.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Get With It Sports. That's what it is.
All right, and thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate
you inviting us, inviting me.
No doubt. We got to do it. We got to do it. A lot more.
Yeah, we got to come bum rush your channel too. We got to come bum rush your channel.
All right, so
it's always open to y'all brothers, man.
No doubt. So everybody out there, y'all know the deal. Make sure you comment on the video. Make sure you click that like button. Most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys again after Game 4 to see, if any of our predictions came out to be true. Until next time, this has been another episode of Inside the War Room. Don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
I see you chumps on top.
Shout out to Lil Durk and Chief Keef.
No, never that.
It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.